Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Wacky Fried Egg. And I would say, even if it's in a kitchen, let alone in a lab, you are playing, cooking, experimenting with a fried egg, and it has wacky, googly eyes like that one. You would definitely be as freaked out as Sleuth is right now, and you would be calling it a Wacky Fried Egg. Now, today's puzzle is from Katie Splendor and Little Splendor. So I'm kind of assuming it's like a mum and son duo. Okay, that's a bit of a bias. Little Splendor could actually be kind of daughter as well. And yeah, absolutely love those types of combos. Megan O33 tends to do ones with his sons as well. So highly love encouraging that. Well done, Little Splendor. We do have something that looks absolutely marvelous when I bring it up on the next page, which I'll do right away. So let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set with Wacky Fried Egg by Katie and Little Splendor. You can clearly immediately recognize the yolk in the middle. We've got a very colourful white around it, made up of blues, purples, and greens, and no shortage of rules, to be fair. So let's quickly walk through these. I appreciate that the font might be a little bit small, so just remember that there's a link down in the description below for you to play. If you're familiar with all of these rules, or at least what they look like they are, or you need to actually be able to reference a higher font version of this. Rules-wise, normal Sudoku rules, place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column of course, every 3 by 3 box, so nothing unusual here. Dutch whispers, so neighbouring digits along an orange Dutch whisper line differ by at least 4. If this is a 2, this would have to be 7, 8, or 9 to be 4 or more away. Just be careful that if you do have something like a 9, unlike German whispers, which we'll get into in a second, I can go from a 9 to something like a 5. Bad example with the black crop key dot, but 5s are allowed on the orange lines. German whispers, however, there are no 5s because they have to differ by at least 5. So if this cell is a 2, these two would be 7, 8, or 9. And it doesn't matter how extreme of a digit I pick to be, if I pick a 9 to be 5 or more away, you're still limited to a low digit. And you oscillate between high digits, low digits, and high digits. Region sum lines, of course, box borders divide blue region sum lines into segments that sum to the same value. Different region sum lines can have different values. So this region sum line, that's one of them, may have a different set of sums to this one. That's the second. This cell, whatever it is, let's say it's 6, must be the same as the sum of these two cells, could be 2 and 4, which must be the same as these two cells, which could be 1 and 5. Let's keep going. Renban, so purple Renban lines contain some group of consecutive digits in any order. Interesting phrasing around this. So we've got this 6 here on this 3-cell Renban. I could have a 7-8 pair, so to create a 6, 7, 8. The important thing is that they have to be contiguous. I can't skip a digit and say 6, 7, 9. That is no longer contiguous. And of course, I could do 5, 6, 7. Of course, I could do 4, 5, 6, as long as they're a set of 3 consecutive digits. No need to say they don't repeat, because they're always either in the same row or the same box. Then we have XVs and crop keys. Digits separated by an X must sum up to 10. Digits separated by V must sum up to 5. No negative constraint on that, and no negative constraint on the crop key, which I'll get onto in a second. So if this cell is a 2, this cell would have to be a 3 to make sure that these two cells add up to 5. If this cell was 1, this would have to be a 9 to make sure these two cells add up to 10. No negative constraints. A 4 in here where these two add up to 5, not a problem without a V. A 6 in here where these two add up to 10 without an X, not a problem either. Crop key dots, we've got black dots, white dots. He says, without actually checking, that we do have white dots. I can see the black one, but yeah, we do have white dots. So let's talk about the white dots. Digits separated by a white dot have a difference of 1. So if this is 2 or 4, this would have to be 1, 3, or 5, basically, so that it is indeed consecutive with the 2 and 4. Why am I struggling with this? There you go. Crop key dots are in a 2 to 1 ratio, so one cell is double the other. If this cell, well, can't be 5. If it's a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that essentially one cell is double the other. And again, no negative constraints. 1, 2, 4, no black dot, no white dot. All of that is fine under today's rules. So, as always, to play along, link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm hoping for a smooth solve. Yesterday's solve, I think when I'm solving tired and early morning, I can make a 1-star difficulty rated puzzle look very difficult. Right, Dutch Whispers. The only way, let's talk about black crop dots for a second. There are the following pairs: 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 6, and 4, 8. There's no other digit that would work. Essentially, you'd have to go above 5, and 5 times 2 is 10. That's not going to work, and obviously 0 is below the 1. So the 1 and 2, 2 and 4, 3 and 6, 4 and 8. The only one from this set of 4 that is 4 or more away is the 4, 8. So this is 4, 8. Let's talk about the black crochet dots in a different fashion. We have 1, 2, 4, and 8, essentially the powers of 2s. They work as black crochet dot digits, and 3 and 6. Whenever you have a run of 3, you know you're not dealing with 3 and 6, you're dealing with 1, 2, 4, 8. It's either going to be 1, 2, 4, or it's going to be 2, 4, 8. So, but notice, because of kind of the setup, you're always going to have 2 and 4, which gives us our break-in. This is an 8, this is a 4. The middle digit always has to be 2 or 4, mind you. And because it's not an 8, this is a 1, 2, 4 setup. So that's a 2, this is a 1, 4 pair. And we're off to the races. This is true here. It's not necessarily true for this black crop dot because this digit is unknown. It could actually be whatever it is, 3 and 6, because this cell is not on the Dutch Whisper. You can, of course, place 2 and 4 in here. With 4, 8 in there, this is 1 or 2, so this is ascending in that direction. It's either 1, 2, 4 or 2, 4, 8. And because, again, there's a 2 and 4 in here, I'm looking at this cell. So I'm looking at these German whisper lines in general. They're always a good way of breaking in. But this one is more interesting because we've got 2 and 4 on it. So the question to ask for yourself, given we know that German whisper lines are either high or low digits, is could this be a low digit? And I think the answer to this question is no. 2 and 4 are not available, so 3 or 1. Now I challenge you to complete this Renban line without the 2 and 4. It's either going to be 1, 2, 3, which it isn't, or it's trying to go, essentially, if that's 3, it's broken because the next 2 digits, whether it's 2 or 4, ascending or descending, are not available. So this cell has to be high, this cell has to be high, this cell has to be low. This cell has to be low again. You can't get to 5 using high digits. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I actually going to color this? This is also, I mean, it could be 5. Where am I going with this? Like, I'm kind of guessing this is a high digit. But I'm not sure it needs to be. I can get like a 1, 4, 2, 3 in here, and this could be 5. I can't go lower. Reason is it will break the V. If I basically do something like 1 and 2, I've broken this V because you have to have a 1, 2 with a 3, 4. Again, if it's 1, 3, well, I'm only left with 2 and 4. So I can't make these two cells any lower than 5. But I can make them 5, so I can't exactly color it. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Haven't got similar trickery here, so it's actually interesting. This was a very quick break-in. But then what comes next is interesting, certainly. Let's talk about this high digit. Because I can make it 5, 6, 7. It doesn't even force the 8 out. If I'm not using a 5, however, then the 8 is definitely out because this would be from 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 7 and 8 would definitely be on it. I can't force that either. I mean, I should use the Dutch Whispers. So the 4 is next to an 8 or 9. The fact that it could be 9, this could be 5, so awkward to continue. This is 1, 2, or 3 to be next to the 8. Of course, the 4 is not available. But again, because this could be 1, this could be 5. I've done this in previous puzzles where the shape of the Dutch Whisper line, particularly if it's a loop, can actually sometimes dictate whether there has to be a 5 or not, whether it's an even number of 5s or an odd number of 5. So I'm kind of half tempted to just quickly check that. And here's what I mean by that. So if there are no 5s, then it will be true that the Dutch whisper is oscillating between high and low digits. So if you just observe that essentially this is a low digit, definitely 1, 2, 3, because that's the only ones that can go next to the 8 since the 4 is not available. And if you oscillate every other cell, I don't know how I ended up with a different conclusion. I don't have to have a 5. Because essentially I can make sure that all of these are indeed low and all of the in-between cells are high. Now, if I don't have a 5, this is fine. But I could also have 2 5s. I can essentially flip the polarity twice. Where would that happen? So the only way that would be 9, 5, and 1. The 1 in here could certainly do another 5 and 9, and then another 1, and then I'm back. So short answer is yes. Okay, that wasn't useful. Where am I going with this? So if this is a low digit, I mean, it doesn't have to be that low. Because I was going to say it would have to be 1, 2, 3, and then it would break, but that's not true. I could absolutely have a low digit in here. Oh yeah, of course it doesn't. Right, that can't be a low digit. I don't know why it took me so long. Right, so just pick any low digit. It doesn't matter. If it's 1, well, this is 1, 2, 3, and I've broken this cell. Because essentially I have 4 cells that are from 1, 2, 3s. Not true. If it isn't a 1, 2, 3, 2, well, it would require the 4, which isn't available. So it doesn't matter what I pick in here. That is a high digit. That is a low digit. Now, the lack of a 4 and the lack of an 8, I think is going to limit this. Because let's illustrate this with the number line. So no 4, no 8. Give me 3 consecutive digits. It can only be 5, 6, 7. No 5 in here. Definite 1 or 2 in there because of the German whisper line. This, sadly, could be a lot of digits. That's 6, 7, or 9, not the 8 that's given in the column. This 1, 2. I mean, there's another 1 in here. So this is 1, 2, 3. Therefore, this is 2, 3, 4. And then there's a 9 in here. It's just I can't tell if this 1, 2 is this cell or that cell. And then there's another 1, 2, 3 in there. Not useful. Not useful for now. It's just I can't even force. Because I only have 1, 2 of the 1, 2, 3s. I can still get away with essentially a 1, 3 pair and a 2 in here. But I do have, let me put it this way, 3 low digits. There's a 1, 2, 3 in here. There's a 1, 2. There's a 2, 4. This is the last kind of high digit. Sorry, last low digit, because to get to 10, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 with 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are no more low digits, basically, in the rest of this column. These have to be from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, this is starting to get a bit tricky for these 2 cells. Admittedly, given how low this is, it's not exerting that much pressure. But this region sum line is. You see, 5, 6, 7, this has to be smaller than whatever this is, given I have a 1 or 2. So can't even be 7. This is 5 or 6. With 1 or 2, 2 feels very tricky, but I could do 2, 5, 7, 6, 5. I mean, given it's got to be bigger here, that can't be a 5 either. This is the only 5. That's another digit. I'm really working hard for these digits. I wasn't expecting that. What did I do earlier? I did a 9, 5, 1, 5, 9. Yeah, that was fine, actually. and then 1 up here. Where am I taking this? So these two cells have to add up to 6 or 7. Without 2 and 4, mind you. So if it is a 6, this is a 1-5 pair. And it doesn't work because the only way that would work is 1-5 here to get to 6. So it is not 6. It's definitely 7 with 5 and 2 or 6 and 1. So these two cells have to add up to 7. However, 2, 5 and 3, 4 are not available. So this can only be 1, 6. Therefore, this is a 2 and this is a 5 and this is a 4 and this is an 8. Excellent. That does mean this is not 5 or 8. It's 6, 7 or 9. It's not a 9 actually because that's the only place for a 9. So that's a 6, 7 pair plus another 1, 2, 3 and 9. So what is the remaining high digit that we have available to place in here? It can only be the 2, 8. And therefore that's 1. That's not 2. That's a 3, 4. This has to be a low digit. The 1s are wiped out here as well as the 2s. That's a 3, 9 pair. That is not a 3 or a 2. That's a 1. That's a 2. That's a 3. That leaves 6, 7 and 9 as an option. And this is definitely a 6 now, which means that is a 7. Excellent. Finding my feet. Right, high digit. Even if it's a 6, which it isn't. I mean, this is 7 or 9. This Renban can't possibly get to a high digit in 3 steps from a 1. So that's 6, that's 1. That gives me 4 and 1 in here. This is 7 or 9. 9 doesn't work because, how am I going to get to the Renban from it? So that's 7. And because I can't have an 8, that's 5. These two cells are 3 and 9, making this 1 or 7, which it isn't. So that's 1, that's 9, that's 3. This is 1 or 2. It's not 1. That's 2. This is 7 or 8. It's not 7. It's not 9. Too close with a 6. That's an 8. That removes an 8 from here. I'm pretty sure it removes the 5 because I can't do 5, 6 and then skip a digit and go to 8. So this is 6, 7, 9. Can't have a 5. So this is another high digit of 6, 7, 9. 6, 7, 8 works. 7, 8, 9 works. There has to be a 7. That's the extent of it right now. We could probably do something with the Dutch whispers now, because not yet. I can still get away with the 5s. I mean, I can pencil mark all of these, but I'm going to pause for a bit and just look elsewhere, frankly. There must be easier things to tackle. This 1 isn't next to a 5 or a 6. That's 7, 8, 9. And again, no 5, so this is back to a low digit that is not 2. It's 1, 3, or 4. 4 works in the middle of a Dutch whisper line because I could do 9 and 8. Not in this particular case with a black crocky dot, so because if that was 8, that would be another 4 and that would break. So this is not 4. This is a high digit. Again, it's not 5, 6. It's 7, 8, 9. Which one of these works on a black crocky dot? 8, 4, not 8. Back to a low digit that is not 1 or 4. This is 2 or 3. Without the 1 being an option, there's no 5. So this is a high digit that is not 7 or 8. I can place a 6. But I end up with a 6, 7, 9 triple. So essentially the high digits here are done. This is a low digit that is not 1 or 3. It's 2 or 4 with a 6 or 8. It is not an 8. 6, 4. Right, we have essentially another 2, 3. In fact, the 2 is just placed. It leaves the option of a 6 available. The 1 is placed. This is a 5, 3 pair. That's 3. That's 5. That's 9. That's 3. That's 6. That's 7. And that's now 9. Lovely. We can pencil mark all of these. We should probably pencil mark all of these. I'm just going to leave it for now. This is now. We don't have the space anymore to do a double 5. So this has to be a high digit. This has to be a low digit. To be able to maintain the polarity, basically, I would have had to use 5 multiple times. 1, 2, 3, all see this cell. This can only be 4. That is an 8, 9 pair. That 8 tells me that's a 9. That's an 8. Doesn't help me with this, doesn't help me with that. Oh, it does. I mean, come on. 3, 7 still works next to a 3. And there has to be a 7 because it's not in there. So that's 7. And then these two cells are, I'm going to say 1 and 9. That's 9. That's 1. I need 6 and 3. 3 and 6. I will come back and do a bit of Sudoku. I'm just going to do what I normally do, ignore it for a bit. 5, 6, 7 by the looks of things. 5, 6, 7. This Renban with a ceiling on the 8 and 9 is essentially descending. So there has to be a 5 in here. And from the looks of things, it's got to be 5, 6, 7. Because without the 4, I can't go any lower. I can't go 6, 5, 4. And I can't go higher, 6, 7, 8. So there's a definite 5. In this region, some 9 being a 9 is a little bit less interesting. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's a 4. This is 3 or 5. To get to 9, that's either 5, 4, which it isn't. It's 6, 3. That's a 1. That's whatever this digit is. 8. I can't see. 7. No 7. Okay, fine. I'll do some Sudoku. Reluctantly. So I need the 7 actually over there. May as well have stayed on that side of the screen. No 6s. 5, 7 pair. Over here I need 2 and 5. That's the 2, that's the 5. Down here I need the 8 and 9. That's the 9, that's the 8. I need a 5, which can only be in here. I need an 8, which can only be there. I need a 2, a 4, which I can place, and a 2, and a 9. And I can place a 7 and 5 now as well. We were getting to 9, weren't we? So this 7 requires a 2 to get to 9. So that's 8, that's 2. And I think we're pretty much done now. Although, watch me make Sudoku look very, very difficult, like I very often do. 1, 3 and 6. Can't place. Right, where's the 3? Don't know. 5 I do, surely. Yeah. In here I need 9 and something, 9 and 6. I can place the 9, therefore I can place the 6, the 3, the 6, the 3, the 7. If I've not made any mistakes, the 8 for the finish. Fantastic puzzle, Splendors. Splendid puzzle. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.